Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of The North Stand with me, Sam Blacklock. We have another action-packed show again today as we take a look at the latest sporting news around the North East. Plus we get the thoughts of our guest panel on tomorrow's Teesside Derby, as well as their thoughts on Newcastle against Bournemouth. Plus, in this week's Campus Sport, we catch up with the Teesside men's rugby team after their win over Leeds University on Wednesday. But we start with the latest news from around the North East. Hartlepool United this week confirmed they have parted company with manager Craig Harrison. Harrison, who has only joined the club in May, has left Victoria Park following issues both on and off the field. The 40-year-old, who joined from Welsh Premier League champions the New Saints, has won 10 of his 36 games at Hartlepool and left the club following their 2-0 loss to FC Halifax on Tuesday night. In a statement published by Hartlepool United, they said Hartlepool would like to place on record its thanks to Craig for his hard work and professionalism shown during this period. We wish him and his family well for the future. The club will not be making any further comment at this time. Hartlepool United currently sit in 19th place, 3 points off the drop zone, and face Ebbsfleet United at home tomorrow. Elsewhere, Sunderland fans have stepped up calls for Ellis Short to sell the club after more than 6,000 fans signed a petition for the American to depart from the Stadium allied. Fan group Red and White Army set up the petition calling for Short to sell the club, with the American offering to give the club away for free if a buyer can be found to take on the club's substantial debt. Short has said he's open to offers for the relegation-threatened club but has failed to find a buyer. Ellis, who's had full control since 2009, is desperate to offload the club, and with Sunderland struggling at the foot of the table, increased pressure has came from supporters. A Sunderland spokesman has declined to comment. And finally, some good news from the North East. Two clubs in the region will look to reach the semi-final of the FA Vase following tomorrow's quarter-final ties. March United and Stockton Town, who both play in the EBAC Northern League Division 1, will look to continue their fine season with some cup glory. March United travel to Black Bracknell Town while Stockton host Windsor FC. Both games kick off at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and for more information you can check out both clubs' websites. Good luck to both sides. Let's hope you can continue to do the North East proud. We're now joined by a Marsh United fan and committee member, Joe Robertson, to share his thoughts on tomorrow's game. Welcome to the show, Joe. So, a good FA Vase campaign so far. How's your season been going so far?
Been going very well, obviously. We've got the Vase room in the quarter-final. Only the third time in our history we've been in the quarter-final of the Vase. Both times were quite a while ago, 2009, 2001. And never have we had such a good chance of winning it. The last two rounds have been favourite to win the whole thing. So we've got a very good chance of going to Wembley and winning the whole thing.
And what are you looking forward to about tomorrow's game?
Beer. I'm looking forward to the beer. I'm looking forward to a good day out on the buses, drinking, a lot of singing, supporting the boys, and hopefully we'll come back on the bus on the Sunday with, in the next round in the semi.
So Bracknell sit fifth in their league. What do you know about tomorrow's opposition?
A good side. They sit fifth only because they've got games in hand on the teams above, just like we do. We've got games in hand on the teams above. And they play on a plastic pitch. They've played 12, won 11, drawn 1. So they're very good at home, but way better away. We haven't been on a plastic pitch since 2015. So we're going on a plastic pitch as well. We've been training on a plastic pitch the last 3 weeks, so we're ready to do it. We're ready to upset that home record that they've got.
And what would it make to obviously go all the way to Wembley and win the FA Vase?
It'd be absolutely massive for the club, not just money-wise, but the aim at the start of the season was to win something. So if we could win something at Wembley, it would just mean everything to the club and the fans. And this could be our last chance in the Vase because there's a very good chance to get promoted this season. We'll be in the FA Trophy, so could be the last chance. Yeah. It'll be massive.
Thanks, Joe, and enjoy your week away. That is today's North Stand news. And now we head to Luke Beaumont for today's discussion.
Welcome to today's discussion to look at all of the latest football talking points. Today we are joined by Caris Noble, special guest Ryan Plews and Joe Usher. So lads, we normally start with Newcastle, but obviously this weekend it's a Teesside derby. And during the week, Sunderland manager Chris Coleman said that it's not a derby and Borough are just a team down the road. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's just trying to be controversial, to be honest. It's typical Sunderland, isn't it? Typical Sunderland fans. It's trying to be controversial and, don't know, keep themselves relevant, really.
I think he's trying to play the mind games, really. I think, he's trying to get in our heads, but I think it should help us, really. I think if we're up for this game, we should beat these if they're not. Simple as that.
Well, I do think he has a point. Like, Newcastle is their big derby. It's not Middlesbrough. It means more to Middlesbrough than it does to Sunderland. But now we're the only teams in the Championship. I don't think you can say it isn't a derby. It's the only rivalry he's got really in this division. So.
And Borough come into this after a positive result against Hull. Can they finally go and get back-to-back wins and build?
You'd have to think so, wouldn't you? We've got to be the massive favourites for this game, but it would be typical Borough to go out and lose it, wouldn't it? It would be very standard Borough, and just as it looks like we're going to mount a playoff push, we would completely slip out of it if we lose on Saturday, I think.
It's about consistency, innit? Like all season, we've won a few games and then they've lost. So it's just a matter of getting that team forward, getting the positive momentum in, I think he's probably got to start Gestead about all the criticism he's had. You've got to start him after that too. He's had an amazing performance. Even Bamford as well, he put a good shift in. But it's all about consistency.
We've been lacking consistency, you're right. I think, we've got one win and we haven't followed that up with maybe 2 or 3. That's what we need to do from now. We need to go into Sunderland, beat them, then beat Leeds, then we've got Birmingham after that, beat them. We need to get that consistency going. If we can make that late push. If we don't, we're not going to get the playoffs.
So into the Premier League, Newcastle have a tough trip to Bournemouth. Following their win against Man United, the big result, they had a week off because of the FA Cup. Can they go to Bournemouth and build on that massive result against Man United?
Well, they've got a chance to, haven't they? It's I have to admit, I thought they would get battered by Man United, but they really put in a shift and played like the teams of Newcastle have passed. Sort of, they showed passion and they really wanted it. And if they go down there with that same sort of mentality, then they could get a result. But are they just going to be big game Charlies that turn up in the big games and against the big teams, or are they going to grind out the important results to pull them away from that relegation battle? The squad. I said it looked depleted before the Man United game, but I genuinely think like it could be solidified after that week off. That implemented the right things, and Rafa's a good manager. If he's given time, like he's got the 2 weeks now between the games, if he's got that amount of time between games, he can definitely get the tactics right, and I think he could pull off a result here.
Joe's right. Not many people expected Newcastle to go to United and get a result. They did. They grind out a good result. But the question is, can they follow up that in that important game against Bournemouth, another team that's sort of in the same position as them? The bottom 10 teams are still in a chance of going down, so this is a crucial game. If they can, and they can beat the teams around them, they'll still. But if they don't, it's all right beating the big teams, but if you can't follow that up against the teams down there with you, you're going to go down. The players need to show passion in these games. Like I said, it's all right showing passion against Man United and the Chelseas, but if you don't show the fight to stay up against the teams around you, you're not going to stay up.
I think there's a lot of talk about Newcastle beating Man United, but you forget a few weeks back, Bournemouth beat Chelsea 3-0 at Chelsea, and they're coming into this game with 10 points from a possible 15. I mean, I know they lost 4-1 against Huddersfield, but it's 1 loss in 5. And Newcastle again, 1 loss in 5, but only picking up 6 points. Their away form hasn't been fantastic this season. They're only 2 points above relegation, and Bournemouth now, I think they're 8 points above relegation, and a win here would suggest to me that they're going to probably stay up, so I think they have more incentive to win.
And the big news in Hartlepool this week is that manager Craig Harrison has left the club after a run of 1 win in 13 games. What are your thoughts on his departure?
Well, with the off the field problems, it was probably coming, wasn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, I don't know too much about the actual structure of the club, obviously, but from what I can gather, it's one of them that's been coming. A poor run on the field has led to a decision off the field that had to be made. And financially, they do look like they're struggling, don't they? But hopefully they can pull through it and get the right man and steer them away from that drop zone again.
It's an unfortunate part of the game, I think, especially when the club's in as much disarray as it is as Hartlepool are. It's going to be tough for a manager having to prepare the players for the league games, cup games, and then there's the problems to think about off the field. It's obviously going to play a part. Obviously they are down there for a reason, they haven't been performing, but which manager is going to go into that job knowing that there's a lot of problems behind the scenes? It's a tough time for them. What they need to do is try and stay up this season and then try and build on that, but it's going to be tough.
I'm not sure if getting rid of him would have answered all their problems. I mean, before the Middlesbrough-Hull match, I was talking to a representative from Hartlepool who was saying that they're just taking each week, day by day, each week by week, and it's just, is that going to fix it? I mean, I don't think it is. They're in a trouble in the league, they're in trouble financially. The fans are starting to get more and more doubtful each week. I don't know if it'll be beneficial.
They're in trouble.
And the Pools have got Ebbsfleet this weekend, who are 10th in the league, and they've got a really good chance of making the playoffs this year. Can you really see Hartlepool getting something from the game this weekend?
They're going to have to perform you know, like top, like they can. They can produce a result. Of course they can. Anything's possible in football, but, you know, are they going to do it? Obviously, it's not likely, you know. Like you say, the off-the-field problems are really taking its toll on the players, and it's just, it's difficult for them, you know. Let's hope they can go down and get a result and bring the 3 points back up here, but I can't see it myself.
I think in terms of Hartlepool's performances, you know, scoring goals hasn't been an issue. They've been scoring, but it's the amount of goals they're leaking at the back, you know, and they're doing it week in, week out. When you've got a defence that's conceding maybe 2 goals plus a game, I mean, you look last week that they were 3-0 up, and obviously the opposing team brought back to 3-2. If you're going to keep doing that, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, but there's that thing in that division that anyone can beat anyone. I mean, the top could face bottom, and bottom could win 3-0, but it's just how they've been playing. I mean, they won last week, but before that, I can't remember the last time they won. It's too much of an ask, I think, to beat a team who's going to go for playoffs in that division.
Gateshead have got Leyton Orient away this weekend in the quarter-final of the FA Trophy. Last time they played each other, Gateshead got a good win, and potentially the Heat are 2 wins from Wembley. Can you see the Heat getting a positive result this weekend?
No, to be honest. I think they could struggle down at Leyton Orient. It's obviously a tough place to go, and they'll want some silverware. You know, they've been struggling themselves, similar to Hartlepool. You know, they've had their own struggles in recent times with owners and things like that. So they'll want a bit of positivity to bring back to the club, and they'll really go for it in the effort with this trophy. You know, if they can get to Wembley and it's a day out for the fans, only around the corner, you know, it's just more of an incentive for them, I think, than Gateshead.
I think it's a massive opportunity for Gateshead. I think, you know, they'll go into this game thinking, you know, if we can get past Leyton Orient, we can beat anyone. Because if you look at the history that Leyton Orient have got, you know, they're established Football League club, so I'll give them confidence if they can get a win, and then if they can, hopefully they can go all the way.
But you think about it, it's the cup. Anyone can beat anyone. Like a dodgy decision on the day can change a match. I mean, you only have to look at Wigan versus Man City. Wigan League 1 beat Premier League first place. Man City 1-0 at home. It's just anything can happen. So a win here, they will be starting to think that Wembley is definitely what they want and what can happen.
And finally, on to Darlow, who had been in a good run of form lately. They got beat by Brackley last time out. They've got another tough game this weekend against Kidderminster, who are in 5th place. Can you see Darlow getting anything?
Well, Dalton, against the big teams this year, they've sort of performed like better than they usually would. For example, I know last week at Brackley they did get battered, but, you know, Brackley are a good side, and you look at last time out at home, they beat Blythe, they were in the playoffs, you know, and they only got narrowly beat 2-1 by Salford, who were top of the league and flying. You know, at home they're a strong side at Dalton, but, you know, it's going to be tough for them against Kidderminster, who are obviously they were ex-National League, so they're going to be, you know, if they're on their game, they should win it and cement that place in the playoffs.
Obviously, it's going to be a tough game, but as Joe said, Dalton are really solid at home. The win games at home against teams that are up there. But Kidderminster are 5th in the league for a reason. It's going to be a tough ask. Kidderminster will probably go there feeling confident. But if they can nick maybe a 1-0, they'll be pleased with that, Dalton, 100%.
They're almost like an opposite of Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough play against the top of the league team and they'll struggle. Play against the bottom and they usually do all right. Dalton struggle against the bottom, do well against the top. I think they'll probably get a result here.
On Tuesday, our reporter Jake South went down to the Riverside Stadium to watch Middlesbrough take on Hull City. Borough won the game 3-1 thanks to 2 goals from Radiger Stead and another from Patrick Bamford. Just after the game, Jake spoke to fans and asked if Berwick can still make the playoffs.
So outside the Riverside Stadium, Middlesbrough have just beat Hull 3-1. AJT, do you think Middlesbrough can make playoffs after that?
Yeah, man, 100%. I said before the game we could. It's like 14 cup finals, well, 13 after this one. Still plenty of points on the line. Yeah, man, 100% we can make playoffs. Yeah.
Gusted today, 2 goals. What do you make of that?
Nah, listen, I spoke to him after Cardiff. He said he needed to take his chances. I spoke to him before this game and he said he said tonight is the night sort of thing. So I knew looking at him before the game, he pumped up for it and that. And like I say, he went out there and just did what he needed to do. And obviously I'm pleased for him, yeah. Good 2 goals.
Another lone player today played Besic. Were you impressed with him?
Yeah, really impressed. Like I said, I seen what he had to do at Cardiff. And yeah, when I see him on the team sheet, I was impressed. But obviously, I was happy. And like I say, he put in a performance. I don't know what happened when he come off as he went down the tunnel. So I don't know if he was too happy about coming off. But yeah, happy to see him in the team. Yeah.
And last but not least, Mackham's on Saturday.
Yes.
How do you reckon we're going to get on against them?
I'm stuffed at 5-0, no problem.
Cheers, man.
Convincing win is what you expect from that game, really. Hold it down there. The games we should be winning, close the gap now to 2 points. So it's looking good, but now we need to go on a winning run. We need to win, the next 3 or 4 games. If we can do that, we've got a good chance. But if we don't and we keep being inconsistent, we're not going to get playoffs. Simple as that.
And Rudy Gusted tonight, 2 goals. Were you impressed with his performance?
Doing the world good. He needed that. He needed goals. He hasn't scored many this season. Sam Walker struggled, so we needed someone to step up the game up front, and Rudy Gusted's done that for us.
Now, lads, what are your predictions for the weekend's games? Starting obviously with the Teesside derby.
I'll go 1-0.
I'm saying 2-0 Borough.
I think Borough definitely concede, but I can't see them getting beat off them 2-1 Borough.
Newcastle at Bournemouth.
4-1 Bournemouth.
There's definitely going to be goals. Bournemouth score goals. Newcastle have struggled, but I reckon Newcastle will be up this, and I'm saying 2-2.
I think similar a draw, but both teams aren't in goal scoring form really. I think 1-1.
And what about Hartlepool?
2-2.
I reckon, unfortunately for Hartlepool, they're going to get beat 2-1.
I can't see them winning this match. No, I think about 3-0 probably. Defensive worries.
And Gateshead at Leyton Orient, can they get a positive result? Maybe a replay?
3-1 Orient.
1-0 Gateshead.
I have to agree, 1-0 Gateshead. I think they'll just nick it.
And finally, Darlington and Kidderminster.
2-all. I think 2-all.
2-1 Darlington.
I think it'll be a board draw this one. I think 0-0.
Cheers, Luke. Now, it's been a successful week on the pitch for Teesside University rugby teams. Both men and women Union sides enjoyed wins over Northumbria University and Leeds Beckett. Our reporter Luke Beaumont went down to see both teams in action. From Acklam, Luke sent us this report.
I am here at Acklam Rugby Club to watch Teesside University's women's rugby team take on Northumbria's second team in a mid-season clash. It was an all-round good afternoon for the Teesside teams, picking up 2 wins in the Bucks Rugby Union League. First up, the women's beat neighbours Northumbria University by 34-12. Teesside dominated the game, and it was skipper Kate Parkin and Anna Devi who were the key players as they scored 2 tries apiece. Emma Ward and Faye Howcroft also scored, getting 1 try each. Emma also made 2 conversions during the game. Siobhan Pirrie impressed as she covered every blade of grass on the pitch, and she had an overall great performance. Shanique Hunter was also a key player. On debut, she made some crunching tackles numerous times throughout the game. Teesside currently sit 3rd, and if they can get some late wins in the season, they could stake a claim for a 2nd place finish, although they take on league leaders York St John's University in the final 2 games of the season, which will be a tough challenge. As well as the women's team, the men's first team are in action against Leeds Beckett's 15th. The Teesside men's team rounded off their final home game of the season with a 24-7 victory over Leeds Beckett University. Despite an early try from Leeds, Teesside punished the West Yorkshire team. Doug Clark was key for Teesside as he put in a high-quality performance on the field. Third-year students Jamie Allison and Oliver Telfer put in a great shift, as well as Kieran McMahon and Callum Smith, who also played a vital role in the victory. The celebrations following the win were passionate, and the boys enjoyed a huddle whilst also swinging their match shirts around their heads. The win sees Teesside go 3rd in the table and in good form ahead of varsity. I'm here with the captain and chairman of the Teesside men's rugby team. How do you both feel the performance went today?
I think it's a very good performance, last home game of the year, and for some of the final year students. Obviously ways to improve, defence, attack, but it was a good win. Good effort from the boys, non-stop for the whole game. And just all round positive performance.
Yeah, I'm proud of that performance. The freshers have been outstanding this year. We've only got one league game left, apart from we've got varsity as well. Obviously, Sunderland aren't performing that well in the league above, so we should look to trounce them. So, yeah, looking forward to the next game.
And where does that victory leave you in the league going forward?
We'll be third, 1 point behind Beckett today on 28, if I'm correct, because we didn't get 4 tries, we got 3. So we missed out on a bonus point, but we've still got one more game ahead of them. So hopefully we can still leapfrog them and nick second, hopefully. In the 9-team league, if I'm correct.
We've only lost 2 games this year, one being Doncaster in the league, which was quite a heavy defeat, but they've won the league with games to spare, so they're a very good outfit. We lost to Durham in the Cup last week. That was a close game, but all in all, it's been a good season for us, advancing on each year that we've been here so far.
Yeah, finally, yeah, best season we've had.
And we start today with some league success. Teesside ladies football team won their Bucks League on Wednesday, going unbeaten in their 7 games. Teesside were victorious 5-2 over Sunderland. With the women's hockey team, however, didn't fare so well, going down 2-0 to the Leeds third team. The men's volleyball team also claimed a comfortable 3-0 win over Leeds Beckett. And in the netball, the first team were awarded a walkover victory against Leeds Trinity seconds, their opposition conceding the game. The football third team also battered out a 0-0 draw with York's fourth team. The American football team saw off Lancaster 36-27 before being awarded a walkover victory over York St John's to cement their playoff place. Well done to all this week's Teesside University teams and good luck for the remaining games of the season. Now back to Sam in the studio.
And that's all from us for now. From me and all the team at the North Stand. Bye bye for now.